Hey everybody, Anthony Pirozzi again with my Inspiration and Motivation YouTube channel. I just want to thank all of you who have been tuning in and watching the last 3 episodes that I've put up on the channel. Hope you're getting some insight out of them and sharing them with your friends and getting them to tune in and hopefully take some I like to say little tidbits out from what I have to say and me sharing my life lessons here. So I really appreciate it. If you can, subscribe to the channel. You can't subscribe if you don't have a YouTube account, but more importantly for me is if you like it and share it. So thanks again. So today's topic is called listening to the what, not the how. What does that mean? So for me, I think there is an art to listening, and there's a lot of us who aren't that good at it, especially, sometimes in our relationships. I know my wife will always tell me that maybe I'm not listening, and my whole thing is just make sure I'm looking at you when you're talking to me. Otherwise, you're absolutely right. I'm not listening, but we have some fun with that sometimes, and but there are definitely times where I think I've talked to her and she thinks I've said something to her. She says something to me and we both got it, but then we're like, we're doing what tonight? Well, I told you last week, that kind of thing. But I remember when I had a colleague of mine when I was working in aerospace who was kind of that one person who seemed to be complaining all the time. There's always one at work. Maybe there's 2, maybe there's 3. What I found with this person was that people were avoiding them because that's what everybody perceived this person was doing, was just complaining. So, I had my moments where I thought if I talk to this person, it's going to be at least an hour and I'll have to endure all of the, the complaints or that this person had. And so I may have, tried to avoid, especially if I was really busy, this person. But many times I talked to this person, tried to figure out, what the issues were. But then this person became my direct employee. I was this person's manager. And so I knew I had to change how I approached this situation. So over time, this employee would come to my office and stand at my office door and not even ask if I had a moment, but just start complaining. And I never had a closed door policy. I always did my best to be available to my employees. So I thought to myself, well, I'm definitely going to have to listen because A, I can't get out of my office because he's by the door. And B, because I know that this person is going to be telling me a lot of what is wrong with what's going on. And so I thought to myself, okay, let me just listen to what this person is saying and not so much how they are saying it. And this was over 15 years ago. And so as I start listening to what this person was saying, I realized that there were some gold nuggets in all of the complaining that this person was trying to communicate. And after a while, I was like, oh, so you need this tool to help you be more productive, or, oh, you'd like this software because it'll help you be able to do your job more efficiently. And that person would say, yes. I said, okay. So I got this person exactly what they needed. And over time, we built a rapport of all this employee wanted to do was make things more efficient and better. But they didn't know how to do it because nobody would listen before. And so I just, over time, we built this great relationship, and I did my best to give this employee whatever they needed, because after we got over the hurdle of really, for me, listening to what and not the how, the conversations were a lot quicker because now we built some rapport. We trusted each other that, if he requested something and it made sense, that I would do it. I would, get this employee whatever they needed. But if I didn't think it made sense, we would talk through it, and they would basically say, "Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so let's figure out the next one." So that trust and that rapport became very important. And so I think about the whole importance of listening. And I'm not perfect at it even to this day, but I do my best. And there's so much, I like to say sensory overload these days, where there's so much around us. And I said it in another episode, just listen to the silence. Try and get to a place where it could be quiet and you can clear your head and think. And really just listen to your own thoughts as well, right? When you have quiet time, like many times when people go on vacation, they have so much, they feel so free and so relaxed that they can actually clear their head and think. Well, that's true in our everyday life of things we need to do, turning off the TV, turning off the computer, and just enjoy the silence and think, clear your head, spend time with your family, and so on. In the case of work, this was my experience. And it really helped me, especially being in a leadership position, to really spend more time listening and trying to understand than trying to be right. I mean, if you're in a leadership position, you're only as good as your people. So if you have a great team, you'll know that by really listening to what they're saying, not how they're saying, and getting them what they need to do their job or to improve or whatever it is. Now, again, it goes with mutual respect and understanding what makes sense. You can't always get everything, but listening is more than half the battle. And that's true even in our communities. There are times that, lines are drawn, and if you're on one side of the line or the other side of the line, there's no listening at all. But the way you get to solutions is listening to what each other are saying and understanding, coming up with some common ground, and not really getting too wound up with how it's being said, because there are gold nuggets in the what, not necessarily the how. So again, listen to what someone is saying, not necessarily how they're saying it, and I guarantee you it will help build trust. It'll help bring teams together, people together, and communities together. It takes a little bit of work, but I know you can do it. All right. I hope this helped today. And again, I just look forward to your feedback. If you have any other ideas of things you might want to hear or talk about or discuss, email me at apirozzi@yahoo.com, or just put it in the comments of this YouTube episode on my Anthony Pirozzi Inspiration Motivation channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great evening. God bless.